Your Honor, I object. Dr. Saybrook was not on the witness list.
That's true, Your Honor, but she is a qualified psychiatrist who was brought in to examine Dr. Truman during the recess.
That's why. Why, of all the doctors in the world, why Dr. Saybrook?
Sit down, Mr. Manning.
No, I'm sorry. I have to say that this is blatantly unfair. I don't know how she's going to be objective.
Mr. Manning, I said sit down. Another outburst like that, and I will have you removed from this courtroom. I'm going to allow Dr. Saybrook to testify.
I know this witness. I have to ask that she be recused on the grounds of prejudice.
Against whom?
Todd Manning. Based on her personal history with Todd Manning, it is not possible for her to be objective, and therefore the validity of her testimony would be compromised.
But Mr. Manning is neither a principal nor a witness in this case.
But his ex-wife is, Your Honor.
Miss Williamson, does Dr. Saybrook have a direct connection to either the defendant or to the victim's family?
She has a direct connection to the key witness in this case, Your Honor, but not to the accused.
Then I see no reason for prejudice. Dr. Saybrook, you may take the stand.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Dr. Saybrook, I understand you had the chance to examine Dr. Truman prior to his breakdown on the stand.
I did. We had 6 sessions, enough for me to get a sense of his normal behavior.
And you had the chance to examine him again this afternoon during the recess.
Yes.
Well, could you please tell the court, in your opinion, his current mental state?
I found Dr. Truman highly delusional, out of touch with reality, with his surroundings.
Is it correct to say that he was agitated?
Extremely, yes.
Well, then, given his extreme agitation, did you find it necessary to sedate him?
I gave him a sedative.
Now, would you say, Dr. Saybrook, that what we saw in court, what Dr. Truman experienced, was a full-blown psychotic episode?
You could call it that, yes.
Objection, Your Honor. I move that statement be stricken from the record.
Sit down, Dr.
Thank you very much. It's become quite obvious to me that my attorney has become quite smitten with the witness.
Trying to sit down and be
so he can have it all to himself.
Please.
Never mind.
Dr. Saybrook, would you say that Dr. Truman's behavior just now, his paranoid reaction to your testimony, his incoherent ramblings, are all part of what you agreed was a psychotic break?
I would, yes.
Well, then could you please tell the court, in layman's terms, what you suspect might have led to his breakdown?
Well, reading the transcript of what he said on the stand during the episode, I would have to say it was his recent incarceration. It was obviously a shock to his system, the solitude, claustrophobia, and humiliation.
Anything else?
Dr. Truman feels he's been betrayed by the woman he planned to marry, Blair Kramer, and more importantly by his mother. Both women have caused him a great deal of anguish.
Objection. Conjecture.
Your Honor, Ms. Kramer's testimony is a matter of record, and Dr. Saybrook's expert evaluation of my client's mental state is ordered by the court.
Objection overruled. Proceed, Mr. Casey.
Dr. Truman, as everyone well knows, is a prominent surgeon. I believe the kind of pressure he's been under, patients entrusting their very lives to him, has made him vulnerable to depression even before the arrest. In fact, he told me he has suffered severe mood swings throughout his life. And as I said before, for a man like him to be incarcerated would be psychologically debilitating, to say the least, and add to that his sense of betrayal, particularly by his mother, the recent loss of his son. It would all be too much for him, and to put it in layman's terms, as you suggested, he finally snapped.
Then is it your expert opinion that Dr. Truman is mentally and emotionally unfit to stand trial?
It is.
Thank you.
Oh, she is lying, Your Honor. He is faking it, and Marty Saybrook is lying through her teeth.
The next person who speaks out of turn in this courtroom will be thrown out and not allowed back for the remainder of this trial. Is that clear?
How can you be so calm?
You make a scene, you get tossed.
Miss Williamson, do you have any questions for this witness?
I do.
Please proceed.
Your Honor. Thank you. Hello, Dr. Saybrook. Several weeks ago, the court appointed you to do a psychiatric evaluation of Dr. Truman. Is that correct?
Yes.
And as stated in earlier testimony, you did 6 sessions with Dr. Truman?
I did.
Dr. Saybrook, have you ever known a patient, either yours or a colleague's, to fake a mental breakdown?
I've heard of it, yes.
But has it ever happened to you with one of your patients?
No.
As far as you know.
Excuse me?
Well, I mean, if someone was good at faking, you couldn't know.
Objection. What's the point?
I assure you there is a point, Your Honor, if the court would allow me a little leeway.
Overruled. Proceed, Miss Williamson.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Dr. Saybrook, could you at least concede that it's possible that you had a patient that was faking a mental breakdown and you didn't know it?
I suppose.
Then I believe it's also fair to conclude that Dr. Truman could be faking this mental breakdown.
I'm a psychiatrist, Miss Williamson. If a patient were faking a mental breakdown,
I'm sure you want to believe that you would see through it, but let's face it, none of us are immune to deception. I mean, brilliant actors convince us all the time that they're actually crying or they're laughing or they're emotionally breaking down, and we're very moved, but we know they're just acting.
The defendant has ongoing psychological problems.
Unless he's a very good actor. And Dr. Truman fooled a lot of people in this town, a lot of very smart people, for a very long time. Thank you, Your Honor, but I believe I've made my point. But I will elucidate for the court. For Dr. Saybrook to draw absolute conclusions about Dr. Truman's mental stability or the lack thereof based upon what amounts to approximately 1 month of therapy before the alleged mental breakdown and only 1 session afterwards is presumptuous, if not downright ludicrous. And I reserve the right to recall this witness, and I request a recess so that I can arrange to have Dr. Truman evaluated by another psychiatrist.
Dr. Saybrook, you're excused for now. This court will reconvene in the morning. In the meantime, the prisoner will be taken under a 24-hour suicide watch.
All right. All right. Whoa, Judge, come back. No, that's it.
Hello? Evangeline, don't you think this is Marty's revenge against me?
Well, of course it is. Marty's trying to get back at the two of us, Todd. Can't you see that, Evangeline?
Whatever her motive was, the question is whether Casey's tactic will work. Excuse me. I have to go call Nora. And you know, I know what happened between Todd and Marty in the past, and I can only imagine how you must feel about it, Blair, but it has no bearing at all in this case. I'm going to go do my job.
Please.
So you'll call me to schedule another examination for my client with a psychiatrist of your choosing, of course.
Oh, I'll let you know.
Won't change anything. But I don't blame you for making every possible effort.
My effort will make that little show you and Truman just put on a complete waste of time.
Stay positive. I like the challenge. But I'm confident 48 will declare Spencer unfit for trial.
Don't hold your breath.
Hey.